So this is session 5 of Poetry and Painting, a collaboration and exploration into the process of poetry and painting and where they overlap between myself, Jamey Austin, and Gabriel Mott, who is now filming us. Session 5 has found us at the Beanery, which is a cafe that I write at, and it was Gabe's idea to bring us here to get some footage of where I do work and where the process of writing happens for me, because we've been doing the previous sessions in his studio.
This is session 5 of that experiment.
We've been experimenting with the interplay of words and colors for paints.
What I thought that meant is we would really begin to learn about, well, okay, when you write a poem, and you're going through that process, and I'm creating a painting and going through that process, what are the tangible differences and similarities?
In some ways, I thought there might be more direct influence between my poetry writing or poems I had or something and your work, and vice versa.
What are these two things capable of saying?
I thought like there might be things that would happen. I would see one of your paintings and you go, oh my god, I'm inspired to write this poem or something.
You know, words versus colors and shapes. You know, symbols that we have a code for, you know, being language and letters, and symbols that we don't have a sort of a map for.
You have different materials. You know, I just have a pen and a paper.
If you're expressing yourself, you know, how are these two mediums effective and not effective?
It's been less directly connected to your painting necessarily, but seeing painting as the exact same thing almost as writing a poem.
I guess I feel like we've kind of dropped into the similarity in a lot of ways of the struggle and what it's all about.
It's the same thing for everybody. The stuff we talked about, the highs and lows of even doing a line that you think, oh, that's great, and then, that's bad.
I do feel very expressed when I'm doing it. I feel like it's very much me. I feel like it's very much something that serves me, expressing myself.
If I confess what's happened to me, then you know it's happened to somebody else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like what I got from, you know, the first jazz I got from reading novels or something was that there were other people that thought like I'd thought.
Yeah.
They're having the same sort of existential, you know, reverie. She writes, how could it be that they were staring at each other even though they weren't looking at each other? And I have to tell you, like, going about my world, there's all kinds of there's so many ways in which I see that being true. Powerful.
So by this author writing that, it almost validates that world for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Think of that visually, you know, and I'll see something visually, and it'll go, whoa, 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 and I'll begin to see repetitions of patterns in the painting. And I'll begin to notice that, oh my god, I drew a small figure here, and here's like its brethren here, bigger. And somehow they're related, and they're communicating, and they're, like, it's all kind of taking a shape of, like, the whole painting has a posture.
I feel like it's pretty much in the larger culture, at least American culture, about this following your heart thing, which I think sometimes becomes rather pressuresome for people, because well, sometimes your heart changes. That's what being a human being is all about. Sometimes you get up in the morning and you're like, fuck, I don't feel like writing.
You know, how you change in the world, I think, is a common question everybody in their 20s deals with at some point, either jokingly or seriously looking at it and going, what am I doing to change the world or to, you know, have an impact and help people?
I want to create stuff that's true and that has an effect on the world. I want something that I write to be meaningful.
Brett Cook has a great quote, as he often does, where he said he doesn't want to. He said my role models are not Matisse. You know, my role models are not the great painters. My role models are Gandhi and James Baldwin and people who have changed the world.
To kind of like show them how I've connected with my own truth and my own honesty and openness, and then that would give other people the opportunity to share with me their experience. And perhaps through that I would really get a great sense of helping them or encouraging them, inspiring them.
I see like me bringing in technology, you know, doing a project with film, doing a project where I use a projector on this one to put up an image of Gary Payton so I could have the proportions right, and I'm using technology to affect what I'm creating. The fantasy I have is that as people see a connection between these layers, and that translates into their life in a mystical sense of like their ability to connect with other layers of their own consciousness.